Hi everyone, welcome back to Raw FPL. So in this one, it's the Game Week 31 team selection. I know Game Week 30 is just finished, but yeah, it's a quick turnaround. So we're going over how the team's shaping up, how I did in Game Week 30, which, yeah, another green arrow into the top 180k now. So yeah, things are going well. I'll show you how the team's looking for Game Week 31. And there's quite a lot of injuries as well. So I'll go over some potential replacements and just update you on, some of the injuries that are happening. So yeah, if you do like this one, please do drop a like and please hit that subscribe button if you're new, and let's jump into it. So I'll just quickly show you how I did in Game Week 30 then. As I said, it was another green arrow, but it would have been actually better if I didn't wildcard. So obviously wildcarded this week. So this was the wildcard team. I mean, to be fair, it did look pretty close. I was quite 50-50 on whether to wildcard or not, but there were some price rises on the horizon. So Petrovic was going up, Gusto was going up, and I think Salah went up as well. So I couldn't actually get this team now, so I'm still glad I did it. And it was only because I had the double Aston Villa defence. So I had Konza, who, of course, went and got that 15-point haul. And then I had Moreno as well, so he got the clean sheet. So those two, and I would have captained Son as well, whereas I vice captained him and captained Salah this time. So yeah, it would have been a slightly better week had I not wildcarded. But I'm glad, I think the team was quite good going forward. So yeah, I'm still happy. So 70 points, Petrovic and Gusto. Yeah, I mean, Burnley, you'd have thought a 10-man Burnley, you'd think the double clean sheet would be okay, but clearly not. Burnley did pretty well to get back into that twice. So them two, Gusto obviously went off injured as well. So I'll touch on that later on. But yeah, Bradley, no clean sheet, no assist, no goal, and then he comes out with 2 bonus as well. So it just shows you how good Bradley can be. So yeah, I'm hopeful for him against Sheffield United next. So yeah, happy to have him. He got 4 points. Udogie, I mean, I'm not expecting too many clean sheets from Spurs, but they have got the double fixtures coming up as well. So he stays, but no returns. Palmer, if you haven't got Palmer, I just think you need him. He's just so consistent. I think next season is going to be about 9 mil, so he's really undervalued. So yeah, Palmer, he gets the 15 points. A fair play if he captained him. Son, I mean, he looked like he could have had a handful, couldn't he? But me being a non-Son captainer, I saw it about 80. I think it was the 80th minute, and I thought, oh yeah, I've got away with one here. And then he obviously went and scored. So yeah, Son with the 10 points, and then Salah, he did get the goal. He could have had a penalty potentially, maybe quite a soft one, but it could have been a penalty. He had one saved on the line, didn't he, right at the end, and he scored. So yeah, 7 points. Another day that could have been, sort of 15 points. But yeah, 7 points. He still returned, so can't complain too much. Saka, he started, so I was happy with that. I didn't actually catch the game, but I saw the highlights, and it looked like Haaland was pretty quiet, so he obviously blanked as well. And then Isak, he was the first game. What a mad game that looked. But really happy to bring in Isak. I think if you had Gordon, that was a bit of a roller coaster for you as well. So yeah, I think Newcastle looked good. Isak looks good. I'm really happy to have him. And then Højlund, not done anything yet, but to be fair, Watkins, I just hope he could match him. And Watkins obviously went off injured, which again I'll touch upon. So yeah, 70 points. Pretty happy with it. Let's take a look now just at Game Week 31. So as always, I'm future planning with this. I'm going to be looking at the spreadsheet from Ben Krillin. So the focus here is basically building towards double Game Week 37 for my bench boost. I'm going to be free hitting 34. So this team is, bearing that in mind. Unfortunately, I wildcarded and I've had a few injuries, which I'll touch upon later on. But this is how the team is currently looking. So in the defence, we've got Petrovic against Man United, which isn't the best fixture, but I want to keep him going forward. So yeah, he's in there. I'm not really expecting too much, but he does offer pretty good value. And then Udogie, I mean, he's been fairly attacking, but he's not been as attacking, as he was before. But I do want some Spurs cover there, so happy to have Udogie. And Bradley, Sheffield United at home, really good fixture. I'm kind of hoping for some returns there. Maybe an assist, maybe a clean sheet. We'll have to see what happens. And then Gabriel against Luton, really good fixture again. hopefully we can have some decent scores in defence this time. So that's the defence. Let's jump into midfield, and we have gone with captain Salah again. Sheffield United at home. He was unlucky not to get more last game week, so yeah, fingers crossed he can do something. Maybe him get a brace, maybe a hat trick. We'll see. But yeah, and then Son, he'll get the vice. Saka, I think he'll be okay. I know he did sort of go off a bit, but he always just seems to play. So I think Saka should be okay. We'll have to wait for the press conferences, but yeah, presuming Saka's okay, he'll be staying. And then Palmer, I just think he's not going anywhere. He's really good value on penalties, and he scores from open play as well, as we just saw. So yeah, that's the midfield, and I think this midfield here is going to be quite popular. So yeah, I think all four of these really good options. And then into attack, we've got Isak coming on the back of his 15-point haul. Højlund, who, yeah, it's a fairly difficult fixture, but Chelsea, they do lead goals. And, Højlund was in really good form, not so long ago, so hopefully he can reignite that. And again, Højlund, he's got the good double in game week 37. So that's why I've got Højlund, Garnacho. And then Haaland, he could be a good captaincy option against Villa, but I just prefer Salah. I think, he looks so good in that game. And yeah, I always like to try and go for a midfielder if possible, but Haaland, he could be a really good option as well. So that's the team. I think it looks good on paper. We'll have to see. Now, let's just talk about some of these injuries because there are quite a few cropping up. So yeah, Lascelles, he was the big one, which, I spoke about him earlier. 3.9 million. He looked such good value. He was, really solid in that defence as well. They've got double fixture in game week 37. And he's only 3.9 million, so you could just sit on the bench. But yeah, he's gone and he's torn his ACL now, so he's going to be out for quite some time. Definitely, till the end of the season. So I think he becomes quite an easy sell. If you're not bench boosting, then you can just keep him as last bench. So, but for me, who's bench boosting, I obviously want the best bench I can get. So I'll look to sell him. If Livramento, if he's not out for too long, I might go for him. Or, I could also go for Lewis Hall as well, because I presume Dan Burn will move into the centre-back role, and then we'll have probably Livramento or Lewis Hall. So yeah, I think sell Lascelles. Saka, he just came off. Apparently he was tired, so I think he'll be okay. So yeah, I'd wait for the press conference, but I'd buy him if he's okay, because he just looks really good for the whole to the end of the season, really. And then Watkins, he went off. I think he'll be all right. He went off at half time. I think he'll be okay, but there's so many better strikers out there. That double. You've got Isak, you've got Darwin. So, even Højlund. So I think at this point, he's obviously such a good player, but I think at this point, you look to move him on. Just go for the double game, because, you could keep him as a bit of a differential, because I think a lot of people would be selling him. But yeah, I think it just makes sense at this point to sell. And then Gusto, similar to Lascelles, he was such a good, budget enabler. 4.3 million. But he is now a doubt, and it was his hamstring. So, yeah, it doesn't look great for Gusto. But I'd just hold him. He's got Man United next anyway, so you can just bench him. Because, the likelihood of the clean sheet is probably not going to happen. But, yeah, I'd just hold for now, wait for the press conference, and you can just decide later. Hopefully he's okay, but, yeah, I think I wouldn't go buying him now because, yeah, it was his hamstring, and it could be some time out. So I think Watkins a sell, Gusto just hold, but yeah, it could be a sell later on. And just a reminder, these are the essential players that I think we all need. Salah, Son, Palmer, and Haaland. If you can't get Son, I still like Richarlison as well. And then just to finish them, differential of the week, it's Diaz. Luis Diaz he just looks good down that left hand side. He's 10.3% owned, still slightly a bit of a differential. Sheffield United at home is the next fixture. He's also got that really nice double in game week 34. So yeah, I think Diaz, especially if you're not free hitting, he looks good. So that's the differential of the week. So there we have it. That is the game week 31 team selection. As I said, a lot of injuries cropping up. I think try and wait for the press conferences before you make your any moves. I think if you can roll the transfer, but yeah, I think at this stage, Lascelles, for example, he's going to be out for a while, so that's an easy sell. Saka, I think he'll be okay, so you can keep him. And just keep an eye on the press conferences to make the final decisions. So if you did like that one, please do drop a like, and please hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you after the game week's finished. And yeah, best of luck to all.